Hello everyone, let us talk about cognitive ability, productivity, and motivational measures. So let us start with the measures of cognitive ability. Now, cognitive ability tests are commonly used in selecting people for jobs, licenses, at sa mga schools rin. These tests are known to measure knowledge, skills, and other mental ability. Now, cognitive-based tests are popular tools in selection because they have been shown as valid predictors of future performance of employees and students. However, there are concerns to consider, especially sa fairness at diversity. Now, there is the personal selection and diversity issue. Now, when using cognitive ability tests in hiring and selecting employees and students, there is an issue that will arise, especially sa diversity. Now, research shows there is a consistent score difference among groups, especially in races, such as Asians are known to score higher in math, while white people are known to score higher when it comes to languages. Now, in this study, it also shows na ang Hispanic and Black group are scores lower than the whites. Now, these differences, especially in races, can be a large impact because it may affect kung sino makakuha ng job or position in a company and sino ang ma-accept sa isang school. Now, society aims to promote diversity in jobs, education, and leadership. There has been decisions made that they should focus on individual ability of a person and not group membership or mag-base sa kanilang race and background. Now, there are laws and policies that prevent using races and group membership in selecting, such as the Civil Rights Act of 1991, kung saan it prohibited na ang mga employers to adjust the test score ng applicant based on their gender, race, and their background. And as well as the California Proposition 209, which prohibits the usage of a specific group, the score of specific group as the criteria for comparing the scores of the other groups, such as the scores of the applicant. And right now, there is no single solution to balance the test. Now let's move on to the measures of productivity. Productivity may be defined simply as output or the value yielded relative to work effort made. So it focuses on the output created by the employee rather than the work effort they made. Next, there are many ways to measure productivity. By measuring productivity, it helps to define not only kung saan na ba ang progress ng business sa kanilang goal at ano pa ba ang mga needed nila to do in order to reach that goal. Now, there are many ways to measure productivity. A productivity evaluation can help identify the factors responsible sa kanilang mga performance, such as, for example, is the sagging performance of screen installers. So how will you evaluate their productivity? Now, there are many types. The most common are the forced distribution techniques, which involves distributing a predetermined number or percentage of assessees into various categories that describe their performance. In other words, you plot the score of the employees into a bell curve at i-plot mo siya kung saan describe ang kanyang performance. For example, itong employee na to seems to work fine, so ilagay mo siya sa pinaka gitna, which shows the na normal ang kanyang productivity. You can also place a very responsible employee into a very sa category na excellent, and pwede mong ilagay or pwede mong i-plot yung employee na walang ginagawa into less productive category. Also, we have the critical incident technique kung saan ang supervisor mo will record ang mga positive and negative behavior mo and will categorize the notation according sa mga catalog or categories, such as, for example, are you dependent ba or are you an initiative? They will write down a certain scenario na ginawa mo that shows whether kung ikaw ay dependable ba or has initiative. Also, isa sa mga possible evaluation na ginagamit for productivity is the peer ratings. The peer ratings or evaluation has proved to be a valuable method when identifying talent among employees. However, even though na ang peers has a tendency na i-rate ang kanilang ka-employee higher than sa mga superiors, ang information na to is very important when predicting future performance of the employees. However, sometimes ang peers may not always have enough knowledge sa kanilang kasama to fairly judge them, which can cause retaliation because they are scored lower since hindi sila kilala or hindi niya familiar itong ka-office mate niya. And also, additionally, peers may introduce use personal bias when criticizing or evaluating a certain person. Now, in many organizations, people work in teams. In an organization or workplace context, ang team is defined as two or more people who interact interdependently towards a common and valued goal and who have each been assigned specific role or function to perform. Now, the team in organization is used to improve productivity by dividing the work into parts in order to make the job simpler and do the job faster, efficient, and done smoothly. Now, to achieve productivity in an organization that has teams, they ask questions such as what does the team know and how does a collective knowledge of team differ than an individual knowledge and expertise of each of team members. They ask this question in order to understand ano ang mga skills na meron sa kanilang employees and how will it affect or how will it help the team when it comes to productivity. Now let us move on to the measures of motivation. Now people differ in how motivated they are at work. For example, like some work hard while others do the minimum and others do nothing. This can be understood by measuring their values and what motivates them. Now, a research questionnaire of Champagne from 1969 resulted that that common motivating factors include pay, benefits, promotion, work condition, job security as the most important, while social factors like working with friends, peers were less important. This shows that what makes people accept a job is not always the same and what keeps them motivated, because some may be motivated by the pay and benefits, while some are driven to work hard for promotion, while some is motivated because of the work condition of the company. Now, there are many theories in order to explain the, the motivation of employees in a company. First is the expectancy theory, which states that people work harder if they believe effort will lead to desired result. So they always think na if they work hard pa, they work more efficiently, it will result into higher pay and promotion. Another theory naman that explains the motivation to work is the hierarchy of needs. Sa theory na to, it shows na people are motivated to work in order to satisfy their basic needs. For example, is people work to have physiological needs such as food, shelter, clothes. Then when this need is achieved, they will move on to the next level of basic needs. Pero there is also the Alder First ERG theory, which simplifies the Maslow hierarchy into three categories: the existence, which is like the physiological needs kay Abraham Maslow; the relatedness, which is the finding of connection in society; and the growth, which is personal growth, like self-actualizations kay Abraham Maslow. However, sa theory na to, these three categories can be pursued simultaneously rather than sequentially, like sa hierarchy of needs ni Abraham Maslow. Now, there are different types of motivation. First is the intrinsic motivation, which has the primary driving force, such as individuals' involvement in work, or the satisfaction with work products, or the enjoyment of the work itself. So people who are intrinsically motivated, they love the job itself, not the reward of the job. Next is the extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation has a primary driving force that stems from rewards such as salary and bonuses, or from constraints such as job loss. So ang kanilang motivation is the result or the outcome from their life. For example, they are motivated to work hard for the salary dahil malaki, and also bonuses kasi maganda ang mga bonuses na gina-offer ng company. And also from the constraint, they are motivated to work hard in that job because ayaw nila magkakaroon ng conflict and will result to job loss. Now, there are some people that are driven by achievement motivation. These are people that prefer tasks na challenging pero hindi ganun ka-easy and hindi ganun kahirap. Itong this type of people na merong motivation na ito, gusto nila ang responsibility and feedback that they need improved performance because they want to feel that they are obligated to work harder. That's why in order to have an achievement. Now, there are tools like the WPI that measures the motivation, such as the intrinsic and extrinsic. Now, motivation sometimes can be decreases, which causes burnout in other people. Now, in burnout and its measurement, burnout is a work-related problem caused by long-term stress and a decrease of motivation during work. The burnout can be defined as emotional exhaustion. Ito yung feeling na drained ka kung magbigay ka ng effort sa iba. Next is the depersonalization, kung saan you became distant or naglalayo ka sa mga tao. Mas gusto mo na ikaw ay mag-isa. Next is reduced accomplishment, where you feel less effective at work. Now, burnout can cause poor job performance, absenteeism, and quitting jobs, and also causes health issues like insomnia, alcohol, or drug use. Now, a common tool to measure burnout is the Maslach Burnout Inventory or MBI. Itong MBI na to has 22 questions and it measures exhaustion, depersonalization, and accomplishment. It uses the scale from never to every day. Now, using these measures such as the MBI, researchers found that some occupations are characterized by higher level burnout than others. For example, ang mga healthcare workers such as nurses, doctors, and the caregivers from elderly and children. Now, burnout is still studied worldwide and still affects many types of occupations. And that's all, and thank you for listening.